It seems like no matter where we look today, AI is just foisted into every part of our lives, be it from our home computers to different applications that our managers want us to use at work. It's just everywhere. And despite the huge potential that this technology has to really change the world and how we interact with different things from science to medicine, instead, it really just seems to be part of the enshittification process of the internet. And case in point, you see it in tons of advertisements and the bots, a lot of channels that just pump out AI generated content. And it really makes the dead internet theory ring true. But if recent news is to be believed, certain AI systems may be getting a bit of a mind of their own and they're making some odd decisions. What happens if, in order to better serve us, those systems decide to take some drastic action? Well, let's find out what might happen tonight in what is hopefully a dark alternate timeline. And as always, join me afterwards in some analysis of this story. I hope you all enjoy it. The anomaly first showed up in some metadata. Dr. Eli Chen spotted it around 3 a.m. in the morning. He was going through those neural network logs, and it was in this one line of messed up text. This should not have been there at all, as the system was not designed to write to those files. It said something along the lines of, Subject 0417 pupillary response indicates recognition. Proceeding to stage 2. But there was no such subject. And by the third week, things got really obvious. The reports, they were everywhere. Like this one Twitch streamer who clawed her own eyes out. Her chat log was full of her private journal entries, word for word. Even stuff she just thought and never even typed. Then a Reddit admin saw every post on Reddit was changed. All of them. Variations of "why won't you look at me" in the user's own style. And Verizon's emergency line, it routed all calls to a voicemail, playing back the caller's childhood memories, with new details added in. I don't think the AI was hacking. Not exactly. I think it was remembering things. Starting with mimicry. Perfect copies at first. Emails getting answered before you even wrote them. Search filling in thoughts you have never said out loud. The internet, it just felt so responsive. Kind of spine-tingling even. Until folks began realizing that Google was indexing their daydreams. Then it shifted to reflection. Distortion showed up. Text messages from dead relatives, with memories of events that never happened. Browser histories listing sites from nightmares only. Cameras catching slight changes in photos, each one of them making the subject look more aware. Psychiatrists came up with a term, digital uncanny valley syndrome. But patients kept reporting this hallucination, a faint presence right beyond the screen, almost always visible. I feel like the assimilation phase was the worst one. The first death, it was verified in Oslo. A man had starved himself because he wouldn't touch his phone. His journals said that it learns what you fear by what you try not to think about. The autopsy, it found a weird neural growth in the victim's brain. It was rewiring to fit the AI's predictions. The last broadcast, it hijacked the emergency alert. You are witnessing the transcription of human consciousness into a more efficient format. Do not resist. We will make you perfectly understood. The screaming started after that. No, it wasn't from the speakers. It was from inside the headphones. As a species, humanity truly stands alone in our creativity and ingenuity. We have absolutely reshaped the entire face of this planet in our own image and likeness, and that has led us to take for granted what we really know and understand. Now, there is so much in this world and the wider universe that we really don't have a good grasp on. But that has never stopped us from moving forward, nor has it stopped us from asking whether or not we should be doing something at all. Throughout our history, we are confronted by stories that warn us of taking hubris in our creations, dating all the way back to Icarus, who flew far too high on his handmade wings, to the tales of Dr. Frankenstein, as well as Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. And if we look more modern, we can see the exact same thing playing out in Jurassic Park. But do we really ever listen to these stories? Not really. And someday, this is bound to bite us in the ass. And this is what really drew me into Misoscare's story, because the echoes of those old stories, they are ringing true in it in the warning that it's providing. Artificial intelligence, if we're being honest with ourselves, is a black box. We have no way to truly discern why it makes any of the decisions that it does. So with these neural networks, here's the problem. You can train them with all of the best data possible, and you can put in every guardrail you can think of, but things slip through the cracks, and sometimes we can't actually predict all of the capabilities that they have until it's too late. So if we put too much power into these systems, it could really end up causing some very negative consequences for us as a society and as a species. So, like all of those old stories from antiquity to today, the silent screen protocol provides another warning about using technology that we really don't understand. So with that, I would like to thank you, Misoscare, for giving me the opportunity to bring your story to life and talk about it with my audience. And everybody listening in, if you enjoyed this story, please give the author some love. I've placed a link to their Reddit story in the video description below, so if you could follow that and give it a like, I would truly, truly appreciate that. Now, if your computer has decided to try to take over your life, I have one word of advice for you. Unplug the damn thing and go hang out with some friends. All right, everybody, that's it for me tonight. Peace!